Begin with the political tension right here in Hong Kong, just a day after Carrie Lam was chosen as Hong Kong's new leader. Now, several protesters who participated in the 2014 umbrella movement tell CNN they're now facing criminal charges. It has been more than 2 years since the demonstrations, but Hong Kong remembers how hundreds of thousands of people gathered in the streets to demand the right to democratically elect their leader. The protests shut down some areas for 79 days. And now the theme of universal suffrage has come up again, with an election committee selecting Hong Kong's new chief executive. One of the protest leaders accuses the outgoing chief executive, Su Wai-lung, of trying to clean house before Carrie Lam is sworn in. Our CNN senior international correspondent Ivan Watson is outside police headquarters in Hong Kong. He joins us now live. And Ivan, why did Hong Kong authorities wait so long and one day after Carrie Lam was selected as a new leader to charge these umbrella movement protesters?
Well, the Department of Justice here says that this summons to at least 9 of the activist protest leaders was issued after reviewing hundreds of hours of testimony and after hundreds of arrests and a great deal of research dating back to the 2014 umbrella movement protests, and that this natural process is then moved forward, again, in the words of the Department of Justice, that this is an apolitical process, that it is impartial as well. They went on to say, quote, "One should not speculate on the timing of the prosecution." Now, let me set the scene where we are. We're in front of the police headquarters. Here you have the escalator that some of the suspects just went up moments ago, and you still have a crowd of scores of supporters, demonstrators, as well as journalists who were here as the suspects made their statement to the media before going to face prosecution, to face potentially criminal charges. They have raised the timing of this, saying that it is not a coincidence that the summons for arrest were issued a day after, just 24 hours after Hong Kong conducted its election, an election that has been roundly criticized, squarely criticized by these same protest and opposition movements for not providing universal suffrage, for basically having a committee of just under 1,200 people electing the top official in this city. And for years, these demonstrators have been demanding one person, one vote in this city. That's a right that has not been given to the people of Hong Kong, neither by the local authorities nor by the central government in Beijing. Kristie?
And so we have this small circle committee that selected Carrie Lam. She, as Hong Kong's new leader, will take office on July the 1st. What more do we know about her? And are the charges announced today a sign of tougher policies to come under her leadership?
Well, Carrie Lam is not a dramatic change, aside from the historic fact that she will be the first woman to hold the top job here in Hong Kong, but she was already the #2 official in the outgoing administration. She was very much in the administration and actually conducted meetings with the protesters during those tense days of the Occupy movement in 2014. In her victory speech on Sunday, she made note of the divisions, political divisions in this country, saying that her top priority would be to bridge those divisions and to unify society. Well, one of the lawmakers who just spoke here, her name was Tanya Chan, and she's gone up right now to face charges. She said she believes that Carrie Lam wants to unite the city, but she was very disappointed by the fact that these arrest warrants were issued today. Whether or not this was a coincidence or not, it certainly sends a strong signal to the opposition in this city that the authorities here are basically cracking down. And that's perhaps not going to be a move that's very popular with the opposition here. And one thing to note, Kristie, since those protest movements of 2014, some of the demonstrators have been radicalized. Instead of just calling for universal suffrage, some of them are calling for independence completely from mainland China, calling themselves localists. This is one of the challenges that the new top leader, Carrie Lam, will face if she's going to try to unite this city during her term in the upcoming months and years. Kristie?
Absolutely. The local is a small but vocal and growing movement here in Hong Kong. Ivan Watson reporting outside, live from police headquarters in Hong Kong. Thank you for that, Ivan. Now, earlier, we spoke with the former U.S. ambassador to China to get his take on the state of affairs in Hong Kong.
Well, this is a very difficult period. I've been a student of Hong Kong for some time. I first visited Hong Kong in the 80s. I got to know Chris Patton, who was once governor over here, and then watched the handover and knew other officials. And it's tough with this one country, two systems arrangement. And my only counsel is just keep cool, keep calm, and just keep working for what you think is right. And it's going to be a difficult time. However, I just hope people realize that stability is important for the economy here, and just make the best of it.
And it will be a difficult time, a challenging time for Carrie Lam, the new incoming chief executive. She has also promised to bring unity to a divided society. But she may have had the backing of the establishment in Hong Kong and Beijing, but she didn't win the popular opinion polls. So can she bring people together when she doesn't have the public mandate?
Well, it's going to be tough. Her predecessor, the chief executive, had a hard time in that respect. Seriously, I talked to a fellow last night at the airport who drove me into town, and I said, "Who you favor?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm a John Tsang man." And but Carrie's the person, and she's got to really work hard. She has to listen to people. She has to go out and listen to lots of different people in Hong Kong.
And stay with us. We will hear much more from Max Baucus in just a few minutes from now. We will hear his take on the future of U.S.-China relations under President Trump. And I should note that parts of my interview with Ivan Watson were blacked out in mainland China.